Is it what you expected? Were you just like, what were your feelings seeing that?
I mean, I wasn't surprised. I mean, I ain't really played much. First year starter, so really wasn't expecting much. Just definitely, it's almost like how the NCAA basketball players test the waters almost. And so it was a little kind of like similar like that.
What were your conversations with the coaching staff like after that? Was it kind of going over the same things in terms of what you needed to improve going into next year?
I just say so. I just talked to Coach Dave, and so I didn't know nothing about the coaching changes and stuff like that. And so he just said when he brought Coach Ryan, he said he'd bring the best in, and so far right now he's been doing that.
So I have one of the questions I've never getting a chance to work with him. The differences between Coach Dave.
It was I mean, we'll say definitely with coaches and coaching change, there's always a difference, but you can definitely see the difference with my pass sets and just my run game and just the way he teaches stuff and just a little bit better than more so film, and then it's kind of a little more hands-on with Coach Fry.
Dawand, you see a real opportunity here to be one of the best in the country. Coach Dave said he wants to come back, be a high draft pick, but he can be one of the top guys. What do you think it will take to get you there?
I just say what Coach Dave said, just being consistent, just making sure I can pass block. NFL is majority all pass game, and so you can't pass block or really run, but right now, to me, is how big I am. But you can't pass block in the league, you're not gonna happen. I just say becoming consistent there and becoming consistent in practice.
You bought into Justin Fry. Tell me about him.
Yeah, honestly, I bought it a lot. I listen to him. He's like a mentor almost. Like every time I need something, he's right there. Like he's like my right hand man right now. So.
Do you like that he's from Indiana?
Yeah, I didn't even know that until he told us like the first day. And definitely you like get that kind of connection with my new coach.
What's the difference like in comfortability? Obviously, with this being your, coming into your second year being a starter and being, the man on that offensive line.
It's kind of weird. Like you go through seeing all your other guys start, and now it's your turn. It's like you coming back, kind of like an old head, honestly.
Yeah. What about what have you seen from Paris? Obviously, moving back to tackle, how's that transition going for him?
He started off a little bit slow, but he's picking up now. Just going from guard to tackle, it's like a lot more space you got to work with. So I feel like Paris is picking up pretty well.
What about Donovan Jackson on the inside too? Obviously, we've been hearing a lot about him. He's stepping into a starting role this year. Has he impressed you so far in spring?
Donnie was real. I would just say he had to play on tackle guard just because of how low we were last year. So it kind of seemed like the guys, they try to set out more or set less, and they don't have that room or whatever to work with that they used to.
You like working next to Matthew?
We call ourselves the Jones Brothers. That's all you need to know. But we have no relation now.
You sure about that?
Somewhere down the line, we in there.
Yeah.
Apologize if you've already been asked this, but give me an idea of kind of how your body feels coming into the spring here.
I say it feels good after Coach Mick beat us up a little bit this past the spring. It was coming just after the loss, and all knew. And we all know what it's going to take to win a championship.
How long does it take you after a season is over to kind of get back to your normal baseline of where you physically feel like, okay, I'm sort of back to normal and not beat up anymore?
It took me about like a week or 2 weeks, but I was out in college just chilling, working out still getting out. Wasn't nothing crazy, but I was definitely still working out and just making sure I was staying, keep my body okay.
Give us an idea of what you're trying to accomplish this year, given the decision process you went through and what you want to be better at this point next year.
I just said earlier, I just said pass blocking, honestly. It's a major thing because, majority, it's going to be a lot of third downs in the NFL and in college. And so, you can't pass block. It's a lot of money off the table right there.
What are some of the things you're doing to get better pass blocking wise?
I would just say drills. Of course, like our indie drills, the ones that Coach Fry set up and stuff like that. The ones he sets up for us is really well. And so for us to work the angles and just work the line of where we need to get to, it's been a great job with Coach Fry has been doing.
When you talk about drills, is that like footwork stuff? Is that where you feel like you?
That's what I would say. Footwork, you know what I mean? Well, footwork is good because of quick basketball, but also I have to translate to football. So Coach Fry played basketball, and so he knows the difference between basketball players and football players on how they set is and stuff like that. And so he said, like me, I'm more so like, I have to have my feet in the ground. I was like, yeah. And so like we kind of work on mindset and stuff like that.
Because he has the basketball background, you have a basketball background. What's like the transition from like basketball footwork to football footwork? Can you explain that a little more? Like when he tells you like.
He actually just compares it, like, honestly, like, more so when the DN's line is a 9 and you're the tackle, it's a junction point, you gotta cut him off and beat him to the point, honestly. I mean, it's like saying this is a guy driving baseline, and so you cut him off right there, and then he's working back that way, and so you're just playing defense, honestly, just zigzag defense. I'm playing defense, and they're playing offense. In my opinion, that's how I picture it.
You think of it like you're doing like a defensive slide.
Yeah.
You got quite a posse behind you.
Oh no, you got behind me.
When you talk about pass play, when you were watching tape last year, like, and you think you want to get better at the pass block, like, what comes to mind where it's like I was doing this last year and I want to like stop doing that and I want to do something else instead?
I would say the oversetting. You know, games kind of change where I was just talking about we get those wide 9s. And you get those 4 eyes lined up right here, and all you got to worry about is just twist games and a guy rushing up and going in or rushing up and trying to work the edge. And I was just watching my film, and I would just say a lot of times I set out to wide, and myself just being bigger, I could just recover better, but that can only go so far. And I was just saying, like, that's what I came back to work on.
Dawand, I saw you on Tuesday doing some band work with Ryan Day. Just what was it like having Coach just kind of tug on you just from the side? What is that kind of drill? What is it? Can you probably do it?
It was Coach Fry drill, and so he had Coach Day come down there and work with us, just knowing that, just see like we're working and stuff like that. And it wasn't nothing major, just to see if you can work the pool, or they're going to pull you and you have to work your set with the pool. And so making sure that your feet are in the ground and that you feel your rebite on when your foot's up in the air.
And you mentioned Coach Fry a minute ago. When we've talked with Ryan, he's mentioned how he wants to see a little bit more consistency in the running game. Just when you look back at last season, how would you evaluate just how the offensive line was able to set the tone for your running backs, Travion and whatnot? How would you evaluate it?
I would say some games we would bring it, and then some games we wouldn't. And I would just say, like, we can't have that. Just knowing what type of league we're in, knowing the conference, and knowing what type of players we're going against. You can't just have it some days and some days not. You got to bring it every day. So I just say with this new style of play, we got to definitely set the tone with the running game.
Yeah, you mentioned the new style of play. How has Coach Fry kind of addressed maybe bringing that consistency of the running game? Is there like a heightened sense of maybe urgency to kind of do that and establish that?
I just say our footwork, more so he just drills a lot. And so once we go through the drills, like kind of translates over the team. And so we do drills for about 3 periods, and inside is only period 4. And so by the time we get to that period, it's all basically that drill is inside is ending to me.
Are you guys using the sleds more?
Yeah, we're using a little bit more.
What does that do for you guys?
I just say it keeps our leverage and makes sure that our hips are glued to our other man, so like when those guys try to swim and work away, that we're still locked on and engaged to that blocker.
Had you done that much before, like in high school or anything like that, or is this your first time?
I wouldn't say so. He definitely just taught me a lot. Just when I said, like, he's like a master splinter. Like, he's got a lot of knowledge, and for sure, once he told me about that glue, it kind of makes sense. Like, where so your guy can't work the other way or go nowhere. He's right here, and he's going like my long arms. Like, they really can't go nowhere.
What's it like for you being experienced now, one of the older guys?
It's kind of weird. I was just talking to Enoch, and we said like a joke or something like that, and I'm like, who are the guys from whatever my class? And I'm like, it's just me and Knock and Schmitty, and I think Matt is like the only person left from whenever, but I just definitely feel like major older than on my own.
When you were talking earlier about wanting,
Dawand, Coach Day said yesterday that you came back because you want to be a first or second round pick. What do you feel like you have to do to make that happen?
I just say just being more consistent, honestly. In my past said, so it's just practice habits, and that's what I was really just saying.
When you were considering going pro, how close was that decision? I know you said you weren't happy with the grade and you kind of wanted to come back to improve your stock, but was it like a close decision? Like, how would you kind of like, I guess how close was it?
I mean, I really wasn't like leaning towards it much. I definitely, it was an option. That's how I put it. Like, it was an option out there. But I'd rather so come back and do whatever's for the team and just make myself better. Rather so just lose, no offense, losing money, and rather taking in money with another year.
Do you enjoy having that opportunity to come back and be a veteran leader for this group now?
I would say so, just knowing that I've been through it and I've been here since freshman year. I've seen like the ups and downs of Ohio State, and I'm seeing what it takes to get to the top and what it takes to get beat. And so, I mean, having those little bit of both can definitely give the knowledge to everybody.
Does the fact that you guys can get name, image, and likeness money now, like, did that factor at all in your decision?
No, not at all. Like that.
Doesn't.
I mean, as an O-lineman, I mean, I get a little bit, but I don't get much to like CJ and them. You know, they like those skill guys, and I mean, I get little bits just because like everybody knows me, but I don't. That stuff really doesn't play a factor to me. I just want to play ball.
And you were talking earlier too about kind of like pass blocking. Were you more comfortable run blocking in your first year than pass?
I'd say so. You know, it's like just out in the open. Honestly, it's like I feel like it was like the lion. I was the gazelle, like the end sometimes. And so just because it was my first year, I definitely was a little scared out there some days. You know, just because you never said like I ain't never been to shoot with 110 like starting that day. I started in an empty stadium, and so that's a whole totally difference to whether it's or not. But I definitely adjusted through the season, and it's definitely gotten calmer. And I just took a deep breath, and I knew it was going to be okay.
Well, I think you were talking earlier about the feedback, draft feedback. When you watched it just yourself last season, what did you see? What areas did you feel like you knew you had to improve on this spring?
I'd say my pass blocking, like I said earlier.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, you're good. Pass blocking is just a major asset. I mean, run game for sure. I just take up so much space, and I definitely. Don't get me wrong. I'm still working on that as well. But I just say it comes a little bit easier just knowing that the footwork and what comes with it. But pass blocking, because I've never really had to do that and stuff like that. I'd say that was one of the challenging part, main focus I want to work on.
I'm obviously a pure amateur at this. For someone at your size, is it being out there on the edge and handling like a speed rush? How challenging do you think that is? Is that the adjustment that you're talking about with handling pass blocking?
I just say more so oversetting, like a little bit with the speed, like you don't know what's going to get hit, and then so I needed to break it down in the film, like. Oh, I took it this away, he's gonna hit me with this, and rather so I took this away, he's gonna hit me with the counter, and so I just needed to break that down, and so that I could be better later in the future.
Because I've asked there about that, and I'm just trying to like understand in your position. You're such a unique physical player. Well, the trade-off is if maybe you give up something on the speed, well, you're huge, and they got to go a longer way around.
Yeah, that's like one of my main keys is that you take away the inside, and so that they got to work the whole edge. Whereas so with me, it's a long edge. So that's like one of my major keys in the pass game.
Thanks, man.
Dawand, now this is just the off-season now. We have a reporter at the Lantern who wants to kind of write about just how student-athletes at Ohio State have these exotic animals. And I know Zed Key, and I believe you have a turtle.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
What's your relationship like with Zed Key? Because he has, I think, a pet snake. I'm curious if you ever have talked with him before and whatnot.
I didn't talk to Zed Key in a while, but I didn't even know he had a snake. But that definitely would be cool, like to at least like hold it and just play with it. I think I've seen it before. Like he has a ball python. See,
yeah.
I know my reptiles, man.
Yeah. And you talked a little bit about your pet turtle back in the summer and whatnot. Just if you can give me a quick rundown about how you kind of got that in the first place and just how you've taken care of it and whatnot.
I got it in 2020, and so when we came back with August, I was just so bored. Me and Knock, we were just like, we need something in here. Like we need a pet. Everybody came to the Griff, and this one we just had moved into the Griff, and just like we need something like to give us like some light and like some joy besides just coming in here and just chilling. And I was like, I'm gonna get a turtle. I was like, because we really ain't gotta wash him. He's a water turtle, so all you gotta do is just feed him like 2 little turtle foods, and he's good for the day. But we would come home and he'd be on his log and he'd jump off and he'd know that his owners is home, and like, and so it was kind of cool. And that kind of like brought us a little bit light. And knowing like this is when our season got canceled, so like that definitely was a little bit of light right there.
Does anybody else on the team have like a pet like you do, or anything that you know of?
Not that I know of. I know a lot of people got dogs. And that, also, I was like, I seen most of my teammates get pets, and we was like, yeah, we need one. But like, we we don't want like one that we really got to take care of because we're always out. And so I feel like Turtles is perfect.
Did you pay much attention to the NFL Combine or anything this year just to see what some of the tackles there did in terms of their Combine drills and stuff?
I seen some of them. Like I really don't watch it like that.
Yeah.
I watched the 40 and that's about it. But I watched the pro day here, so that's
Okay.
really why I don't pay much attention to it. But I definitely seen Nick there and just seeing what they had to do, and just seeing like the cone drills and just stuff like that. And definitely some stuff I need to work on more so, just getting prepared for next year.
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, when you have a big football season ahead of you, but when you get to that point, how do you think you'll stack up athletically? Because clearly you've got some traits that the NFL wants.
I would just say, hopefully it just all come together and it just looks right and just look the parts. You know what I mean?
What's your wingspan?
I think it's like 7'5".
It's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty long.
What do you think that does for you? How do you see that with your size and your length? How tough it is for edge rushers to get around you?
I would say sometimes I'll throw my arm out too early, and so they can get past me sometimes. And then if I'm true to my game, and so it's kind of tough for them just knowing like it's a wide body as well with my arms, and so I could punch my arm and they try to rework the rush, but they're already so wide that they can't get back to the quarterback. And so that's definitely one of my advantages I have with being my wingspan.
How do you feel like your feet are right?
Like I said, they've gotten better since last year, but this definitely needs some work. I'll probably go get some more work after this. So that's my major thing, making sure my footwork and the pass game is top notch.
We saw what Paris could do at guard last year. What are we going to expect from him at tackle? With you playing tackle, him playing tackle, what's that like going to be like for you guys?
Hopefully we can just be the brothers of destruction, just like once again, but just on different sides, just holding it down and just protecting CJ.
What does he bring to that tackle spot, I guess, is what I mean too.
I would say just like quickness, aggression. You know, Paris is just fast off the ball, and he's twitchy, and so when he gets off the ball, he's there. And so I love that about him. I think that's good for our offense.
You say Brothers of Destruction?
Yeah.
Is that a new name for you guys, or is that from last year?
It was from last year.
How did you come up with that?
I'm Kane, he's Undertaker. So.
Oh, is that a wrestling thing? I'm old. That's a wrestling thing? Oh, you're Kane, and he's the Undertaker, and you're the brother. That's I would be scared of that.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
See, I said I'm Kane because I'm taller, and then he's the Undertaker because he's shorter.
So even though you're on opposite sides of the line now, you can still be the Brothers of Destruction.
We still can be the Brothers of Destruction.
You guys have like a thing? Do you have like a celebration or something you can do?
We should get one, but not right now.
Okay, we can work on that.
I got you.
Thank you, Dawand.
Thanks, man.